Bienvenue. Welcome to the EMSB's ParentCon 2023 Lunch and Learn series. My name is Marika Ramundo, and I'm a parent volunteer on the EMSB Parents Committee. The purpose of this virtual Lunch and Learn series is to provide you with some valuable information, tips, and strategies to help you navigate the joys and challenges of parenting. We appreciate the time you've set aside to be here with us today. So grab a cup of coffee or your favorite lunch and settle in for what promises to be an informative and enjoyable session. This capsule, entitled Enrichment Programs at the EMSB, a menu for talented learners, will focus on the school-wide enrichment, specifically the Battle of the Books Enrichment Program, Global Issues Problem-Solving Enrichment Program, Debating and Public Speaking Enrichment Program, and Math International Caribou Competition. And B, Independent Enrichment Programs, showcasing specific examples of student work and achievements. And it's being given by Dr. Camelia Birlean. Dr. Birlean is the consultant for gifted and exceptional learners at the EMSB's Student Services Department. In addition to leading the enrichment programs at the EMSB and designing services for gifted and talented students, Dr. Birlean has been teaching at McGill since 2010 in the Faculty of Education, where her primary teaching responsibilities are within the field of special education, specifically in gifted education, and in differentiated assessment in inclusive education. Dr. Birlean is also the author of multiple articles and chapters in the field of gifted education. And finally, she's the parent of a highly gifted child. Take it away, Dr. Birlean.
First of all, I would like to thank you for selecting to spend the next hour with our team learning about the needs of talented and gifted learners. I am Dr. Birlean, and I am leading the dossier of gifted and exceptional learners at EMSB. The enrichment programs, carefully designed, selected, or adopted for implementation and in our school at EMSB, are without exception skill-based programs tapping into skills that are transferable to life situation. That was my primary focus when selecting the menu of enrichment programs for our advanced learners at EMSB. Now, before proceeding with an in-depth description of each program, let me introduce you to the agenda for the session. So today I would like to start by introducing the team members dedicated to the gifted and talented students on CA, and will briefly explain our roles. Then I will share the various school-wide enrichment programs that are implemented at EMSB, that were implemented at EMSB over the life of this school year. And finally, I will discuss the independent enrichment in terms of what it is, who is it offered to, and also sharing some concrete examples of projects. I would like to start introducing my team members, Ms. Sarah Labe and Ms. Pamela Anang, who, despite the fact that they are not presenting with me today, I would really like to acknowledge their contribution to the final product of this presentation. Both Ms. Sarah and Ms. Pamela play a critical role in the implementation of the various enrichment programs at EMSB, whether such programs are offered school-wide or as independent enrichment projects. Now, Ms. Sarah completed her master's degree in inclusive education at McGill University and was actually a former student of mine, completing under my supervision the course on gifted education and her special project. Ms. Pamela is completing her master's degree in informational studies at McGill University. I would also like to highlight at least 3 of our specific goals in our mandate for the gifted and talented students. So first, our mission is to address individual needs of bright children within schools across EMSB by conducting strengths assessments and designing instruction to meet their needs. Second, we strive to continuously raise awareness about the needs of our gifted and talented learners among various stakeholders, whether those are teachers, parents, administrators, or students themselves. And our ultimate goal is to reach as many gifted and talented students as possible by implementing school-wide enrichment programs for start in a few selected French immersion schools, with the hope that their successful implementation can then be extended to other schools in the future. Let's talk about the school-wide enrichment programs. And over the life of this academic year, we actually implemented 4 school-wide enrichment programs in order to address the needs of our talented students in various disciplines. So, for example, mathematically talented students were served through engagement in the Caribou International Math Competition. Our avid debaters and readers were nominated for the Debate and Public Speaking Enrichment Program, while our most ferocious readers were served through the Battle of the Books program. And finally, our strongest learners, those who perform academically in the high 90s across subjects, benefited from engagement in the weekly Future Problem Solving international programs. Now, each of these programs will be explained in more detail through concrete examples, while also I would like to highlight our students' achievement within each program. So the Caribou Math Competition, or Caribou Math, is an international online math contest focused on complex problem solving and mathematical reasoning skills. The frequency of the contest is what sets this competition apart from the traditional math contests, in that there are 6 contests per year, each progressing with the curriculum to keep a mathematically talented child motivated year-round. It is worth mentioning that some of our students not only are doing very well, scoring in the top 5% at the national and international levels, but we actually had 2 EMSB students who scored #1 at the international level. And I would like to mention their name. So first, it's Isaac Wolfson Trudeau from Downry Garden Elementary School, who is in the kindergarten, and Oliver Mansour, who is a grade 4 student at Roslyn Elementary School. Now, the other program that we actually run is Future Problem Solving International, which is a program that involves thousands of students annually from around the world. The program has been developed in 1974 by creativity pioneer Dr. Paul Torrance and provides both competitive and non-competitive components for today's curriculum via a 6-step model, which teaches critical and creative thinking, problem solving, and decision making. Examples of problems include, but they're not limited to, personalized medicine, international travel, spread of infectious disease, mission to Moon, Mars, and beyond. Future problem solving entails 4 components, 2 of which were implemented in our school over the span of this academic year. Specifically, these include global issues problem solving, or GIPs, in which students employed a 6-step process to respond to a scenario, to a scene set 20 to 30 years into the future. And the other component was scenario writing, in which students write an original 1,500-word piece of fiction, projecting their choice of one annual topic into the future. Now, student work is submitted electronically, where evaluations and feedback is provided actually by the trained evaluators from the Future Problem Solving International Organization, and qualified students earn invitations to participate in the annual international conference. So the first component of the Future Problem Solving International, in which our students engage throughout this year, is the Global Issues Problem Solving. And this is a component that enables the students to think creatively and explore collaboratively a selected inquiry topic from a diverse range of contemporary global topics. Such, for example, the topics of this year's competitions were e-waste, digital realities, robotic workforce, and finally, throwaway society. And throughout the school years, students work in teams of 3 or 4 and engaged in a weekly session of an hour and a half that was aimed at learning and refining the creative problem-solving skills, while also researching and learning about each topic in great depth. And specifically, our students learned and implemented the 6 steps problem-solving model and competed internationally in 3 distinct competitions, leading to the final competition, which will be held at University of Massachusetts from June 7th to June 11th. So within each competition, the teams had the opportunity to create and submit a detailed action plan, solving the given problem, while entries were assessed and scored by trained evaluators. Now, 2 teams of students, competitors in the GIPs, qualified to the final international level competition and conference. And these are 1 team of 4 students from Pierre de Coubertin Elementary School. And congratulations go to Rocco Palmieri, Eva Charlo, Graciela Corsi House, Gian Massimo Antonio Pietrangelo, and the other team that comes from Secondary 3 Royal West Academy. Again, congratulations go to Sumin Wu, Sophie Ini, Ania Figlart Gracino, and Jake Gurevich. So just as I mentioned in my introduction, our programs tap into skills that are likely transferable to real life situation. That is the primary criterion for program selection that we use. So the target skill of the GIPs are creativity, communication, critical thinking, and collaboration. So I'm just going to elaborate on each of these skills just so you have an understanding of how these skills are developed through engagement in the program. So creativity, the problem-solving situations are set in future to encourage inventive thinking. And students explore future possibilities using present real-world situation as reference point. Communication. Now, clear and articulate communication skills are developed while working with a team, and ideas are presented both in written and verbal modes. Critical thinking. Students use analysis to gain understanding of global issues and to comprehend significant aspects of complex situations. Collaboration, students work together while learning and applying problem-solving skills. Teamwork is nurtured as students advance through challenging and exciting situations. So on the right-hand side, I actually included a student testimonial from Royal West Academy team. I will pause for 20 seconds to allow you to read it. So this slide includes testimonial from Madara Garden Elementary School team. Once again, I will pause for 20 seconds to allow you to read it. So now we're going to move into a new enrichment program, a new school-wide enrichment program, and that is the debating and public speaking enrichment program, which is a program that I co-designed a while back in collaboration with Kiana McCary, now a doctor in law, who graduated from McGill University and who at the time of our collaboration was actually actively involved in coaching the debate summer camps at McGill and was the president of the McGill Debating Union. And once again, this program is a skill-based program that offers participants an ideal preparation for future high school debating clubs and helps readdress the need of competitive opportunities for young debaters and public speakers. Our rounds of speech events combine the emphasis of debate skills with emphasis on persuasion and rhetoric. This program runs weekly, usually from October to mid-April. And this year we had the opportunity to implement it in 5 of our elementary schools. So the program focuses on the development of the following skills. First, we start by teaching our students to conduct research for a valid and reliable sources. So we actually engage them in library workshops. We teach them how to take effective notes, how to organize information, whether by designing concept maps or using graphic organizers that align with the students' learning preferences. Then we teach them how to write persuasive arguments to support the chosen stance. And within the argumentative writing piece, we teach our students to use Batle, which is a mnemonic for writing persuasive arguments. And then we teach them critical thinking, how to evaluate the sources they read, how to identify logical fallacies, how to question the information that's presented over the internet or in the articles that they read or in their speeches and during the debates. And we also teach them how to actively listen. Listening actively and teamworking are very important skills that we try to also cultivate throughout this program. So near the end of the program, our children are offered the opportunity to enact a real debate on a given topic using the Canadian parliamentary structure as they are competing in the semifinals and final debates against teams from other English Montreal School Board schools. So over the month of April, our student debaters actively participate in their in-school debate tournaments, arguing for or against the motion this House believes that homework should be abolished, Their excellent preparation and effective engagement in the debate rounds was acknowledged and celebrated, as each debater received an Indigo gift card of $15 in value. The final champions, who distinguished themselves from among the 69 participants, were Dara Garden and Willingdon champions, who faced each other in the final inter-school debate tournament that was hosted by Dara Garden Elementary on April 26th, event to which our parents and students involved in these programs were all welcome to attend. I will allow 30 seconds for you to read over these very appreciated thoughts that were shared with us. The final school-wide enrichment program that we actually implemented across our schools at EMSB is the Battle of the Books Enrichment Program, which is a program in which highly motivated students are ferocious readers who really enjoy reading, form a team of 6 and are expected to read the books selected by our expert librarians. The team competes against other reading warriors through in-school rounds, and then again against other reading warriors from across EMSB elementary schools. After several levels of battling, top teams meet and the school board champion is crowned. The battle includes 2 sessions, each session comprising of 2 rounds, the regular round and the lightning round. The regular round comprises a 4-paragraph-based question per team, worth 5 points each. The team has 1 minute to respond to each question, and if a team answers incorrectly, the other teams have the opportunity to steal the question, and the correct stolen question value is about 2 points. Lightning round is a set of 15 questions per team, worth 2 points each question. The team is offered 2 minutes to work their way through as many questions as possible in the set. So it's a speed of performance round. Now, the 10 books we use in the battle this year were carefully selected by Miss Linari, Jenna, currently a librarian at Westmount High and a former member of my team. The Battle of the Books program runs from November to May. In the early stage of the program, so from November to about February, our weekly meetings were a mix of independent reading, reading worksheets, as well as thematic literature circles. And by December, students started to develop trivia questions from a mix of independent reflections and group discussions. As of February, time by which all teams are expected to have covered collectively the 10 selected books, the emphasis of the program shifted to preparing for the competition. So as the in-house competition started to creep up, students practiced the various questions, required answering formats to ensure that they were confident and ready. And again, this is a very grand event in which the final 4 school champion teams come together in the final battle. And once again, parents and students are welcome to attend the event. So now I'm going to discuss the independent enrichment programs in terms of what it entails, who are they offered to. So at EMSB, we offer independent enrichment programs as an alternative activity to students who have either been formally identified as gifted through psychoeducational assessments or are consistently achieving in the high 90s across subjects and require further cognitive stimulation. Now, these students will have completed a strength assessment in order to inform the topic and the format of the personal project. We have a total of 20 participants enrolled in the independent enrichment program, which occasionally may be also offered to a dyad or a small group of bright students. Most students benefiting from independent enrichment are in the first cycle of elementary school, level at which we don't offer any school-wide enrichment programs except for the Caribou International Math Competition. So what is an independent enrichment program? What is a project? An independent enrichment project is a very open-ended exercise that's intended to be designed around individual students' interests and available resources. Examples of such projects include participation to scenario writing, future problem-solving internationals, a design of a video game using Scratch by MIT, engagement in the Let's Talk Science Lunar Rover Research Challenge, or the Mystery of the Missing Tomb, the creation of an interactive book. It is important to understand that these independent enrichment projects are based on students' interests, so they're inquiry-driven projects. So two young writers from Wellington Elementary, grade 4, participated in the scenario writing competition, which is one of the components of the Future Problem Solving International. Within this component, students develop short stories that are related to one of the annual future problem solving topics. Like I said before, it was on e-waste, robotic workforce, digital realities, and throwaway society. And students develop an entry of 1,500 words or less that set at least 20 years into the future and is an imagined but logical outcome of actions or events taking place in the world. Students' work is assessed based on character, plot, and the feasibility of possible outcomes, which directly reflect trends in the research topics. Now, to help prepare for these competitions, our students benefited from a weekly 1-hour enrichment session. They visited the Montreal Science Center and participated in a virtual discussion with science-based community outreach University of Toronto's Trash Team. One of our two competitors, namely Sky Fraser from grade 4 Wellington, qualified to the international competition to be held at University of Massachusetts, June 7 to June 11. Now, the Lunar Rover Research Challenge has been offered to 4 students from Wellington in grade 3 and grade 4, as well as 2 students at kindergarten level at Dairy Garden Elementary School. So I'm going to start with Wellington team. So the 4 Wellington students competed in the Lunar Rover Research Challenge that's developed by education specialists at the Let's Talk Science, which is a national competition, a national organization, in collaboration with subject matter experts in the space and rover industries at Canadian Airspace. Now, the Lunar Rover project aims to challenge and engage students' critical and scientific thinking to plan a rover mission seeking out ice deposits hidden in the moon's shadow. This is done through a collaborative and fun board game. And to help our students prepare for the competitions, we offer them weekly 1-hour enrichment session, visited the Rio Tinto Planetarium, and participated in a virtual discussion with Gary Matthews, a mechanical engineer who worked on the James Webb Telescope. So here are some illustrations of the collaborative board game. So in this collaborative board game, students normally start off with learning the importance of the Lunar Rover mission, the need of water on the moon, and the essence of risk and scientific value during research. The necessary skills born from this experience include creativity, teamwork, analytical thinking, as teams design, analyze, improve, and then submit a plan to accomplish the mission objective. Now, just like I said before, the Lunar Rover Research Challenge has been also offered as an independent enrichment to 2 kindergarten students from Dairy Gardens Elementary School, who participated in the non-competitive component of the Lunar Rover Challenge. During this process, Izzy and Penny, the 2 students, moved through the lesson notes, equipping them with the theoretical knowledge behind the rover mission to the moon and the essence of water and survival on the moon. Due to their age, the condensed version of the game was their mission map. In applying what they've learned, they built a lunar Lego mission board to practicalize what they had learned over the weeks. Below is actually an image on this board. And then they were taken through the condensed game to immerse themselves in the various roles required to play the game. So the various roles include Rover command tracker, navigator, data tracker, battery level tracker, temperature tracker, and so on. And this process was actually necessary as they would write their individual one-pane stories that complement their collaborative Lego board to communicate how they, each of them independently, view the mission success and assess their understanding of the content while incorporating their scientific interest to personalize their stories. So here in the middle, we have Izzy's Astrobot illustration. So another independent enrichment project was offered to a few students in grade 2 and at St. Ralph's, and also one student at Wellington in grade 3, based on Scratch animation developed by MIT. Now, Scratch is the world's largest coding community for children and a coding language with a simple visual interface that allows young learners to create digital stories, interactive games, and animations. Our students have benefited from a weekly 1-hour enrichment session, working on animation projects and game design activities. It's very important to explain that Scratch promotes computational skills and also problem-solving skills. Creative teaching and learning were part of our program, as well as self-expression and collaboration, and equity in computing. And this is the final, but not the list of our independent enrichment projects titled The Mystery of the Missing Tomb. So the student interest, and this comes from a student, it's been created by a student at Parkdale in grade 4, whose interest was connected to ancient Egypt. At the beginning of this project, the student was given resources on ancient Egypt to broaden his horizon of knowledge about this topic and inspire the plot of his story. Additionally, he was offered writing prompts that encouraged him to expand his thinking in terms of creative writing. And after deciding a story pattern, he began the character profiling phase, giving each story character a name and a personality. He then worked on setting and plot writing that placed the character developed into the story's context. The student was given time to flesh out the story based on the preliminary resources provided. And once that was completed, he then brought each story component to life through the use of Book Creator application to assist in his writing. And so the target skills of this independent enrichment are research skills, as the student engaged in a library workshop to understand and to read more about ancient Egypt, and a creative story writing through the use of Book Creator as a medium for writing. So this, in a nutshell, summarizes our enrichment initiatives at EMSB. We are looking forward to hearing from you and to continue this topic of discussion, ideally as a conversation about giftedness and best practices to support our gifted and talented learners at EMSB. On behalf of our team, I would like to say a heartfelt thank you for taking this enriching trip with us today. Thank you.
A big thank you goes out to all the ParentCon speakers, educational partners, and behind-the-scenes organizers. Your commitment to excellence in education is outstanding, and thank you for taking the time to attend this session. We hope you found this session valuable, educational, insightful. For more resources, don't forget to visit the EMSB Parents Committee on Facebook or online at emsbparents.ca.